unlimited. My divine nature is unlimited. If I look only at my day-to-day human experiences, it's sometimes hard to believe that I am an unlimited spiritual being. After all, I have errands to run, tasks to finish, or people to care for. My time and my choices can easily feel limited. But I know the truth of my soul. I take a moment to pause, to breathe, and remember that I am part of a magnificent whole, a being formed by love and light, a beloved player in this game of life. I am here with a purpose to love and be loved, to give and receive, to choose joy even among the errands, the tasks, and the caregiving. This life is my opportunity to be an opening for God on the earth. My divine nature is unlimited. From Psalm 16. You show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore. We are going to invite Art to sing us a song.
Actually, last Wednesday I turned 70. When I get older, lose my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a valentine? Birthday greetings, bottle of wine. If I've been out till 2:45, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Send me a postcard, drop me a line, staying point of view. Indicate precisely what you mean to say. You're sincerely wasting away. Give me your answer, fill in a form, mine forevermore. Will you still need me? Will you still feel me when I'm 64?
Thank you, Art. It didn't even occur to me to think about ages when it was more to do with the message than that. So welcome to week 4 of our magical metaphysical tour with the songs of the Beatles. We've spent the last 3 weeks talking about different aspects of Beatles music and also speaking about each of the characters who are the people who formed the band. So we've spoken about John Lennon and Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and today we're going to highlight George Harrison. George Harrison was the lead guitarist and then also the lead sitarist when he introduced that instrument to the Beatles. And one of the things that we spoke about the Beatles is how each of the characters appeal to different people, that each have different strengths, that John Lennon, for example, was really the thinker, and Paul McCartney was really the heart. Ringo Starr, who was the drummer, was literally and figuratively the physical heartbeat. And George Harrison represents that spiritual aspect of us. So we'll speak about that. I got a text from Alexandra, who is unable to be here today. She's speaking at Unity of White Rock today, but mentioning that this week marked the 50th anniversary of the Beatles performing here in Vancouver at the PNE. And Curtis, you went to see them, right? Oh, it's perfect timing. So it must just be like a trip down memory lane for you to enjoy this music now and think back to that amazingly spectacular time. Very cool. George Harrison died young, 58 years old. He was known as the quiet Beatle because he pretty much didn't say anything, and during any of the interviews that they had, he pretty much kept to himself. He was also 26 years old when the Beatles broke up, so he was quite young. And yet he had a profound influence on the Beatles. He was the one who led them to travel to India, and while he was there, he adopted Hinduism as his chosen spiritual path. After the Beatles broke up, he was the one who had the very first single solo hit with his song, My Sweet Lord. And although we know today that major rock concerts for charity are sort of things that we know about, he was the one who started that in a big way. So at Madison Square Gardens, he was the one who created the rock concert event called the Concert for Bangladesh. Harrison died from lung cancer at the age of 58. That was 2 years after he survived a knife attack when somebody broke into his home. He was stabbed multiple times, including in the lungs. When his remains were then cremated and the ashes scattered in the Hindu tradition in the Ganges and Yamuna rivers in India. After he died, Harrison's family issued a statement saying, "He left this world as he lived in it, conscious of God, fearless of death, and at peace, surrounded by family and friends. He often said, 'Everything else can wait, but the search for God cannot wait.' And love one another." See that spiritual longing for more than what we know here. Here's a quote. "Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. My sweet Lord, I really want to see you. I look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping. With every mistake, we must surely be learning, while my guitar gently weeps." He said, everything is relative to everything else, as opposed to the Western view that things are merely coincidental. And I don't know what the science was like in those days, but now we're starting to accept that that is true, that we aren't just dependent or independent, but that we are interdependent. dependent, and that what happens with one affects us all. Everything is relative to everything else. He also said, with many lives, our association with the temporary has grown. This impermanent body, a bag of bones and flesh, is mistaken for our true self, and we have accepted this temporary condition to be final. We have, haven't we, at times, accepted this temporary condition to be final. And finally, and this quote I think is so powerful, the Beatles exist apart from myself. I am not really Beatle George. Beatle George is like a suit or a shirt that I once wore on occasion, and until the end of my life, people may see the shirt and mistake it for me. Isn't that wise? We are not our circumstances, we are not our jobs, we are not our relationships. We are much more than the shirt or the suit that we put on. And that is a great reminder of those words. We're moving right along into, Lyle is going to sing for us, Let It Be. And before we do that, I want to share a little bit about the background of this song. Most people, me included, thought that when the song lyrics refer to Mother Mary, you know, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. I always thought that Paul McCartney was talking about the Madonna, like Mother Mary, Mary, Mother of Jesus. No. He wrote that song after having a dream about his mother who had passed away. And she died of cancer when McCartney was 14. And he was having a really difficult time with the band. Just like most relationships, there are times when the bands don't work. The members didn't work together. And he had this dream, and in the dream, his mother had this vision of his mother saying, it will be all right. Just let it be. Interesting. This is the
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
And just breathe into the beauty of that music. We allow ourselves to set aside everything except right now. And we give ourselves permission to be here in this place of calm, of peace, of wisdom, as we let it be. We know that there are times when indeed our lives feel cloudy, when it seems dark. And in those times, it is helpful to remember those 3 words, let it be. As we just breathe into that knowledge that all will be all right, that all is well, and that nothing can disturb our calm and our peace. Today we consider our relationships. And as we do so, we remember to let it be. My sweet Lord, here, there, and everywhere, within you, without you, I am looking through you. I want to tell you it's all too much. It don't come easy, so love me do. I've got to get you into my life because you really got a hold on me. It's been a hard day's night. Tell me what you see. A fool on a hill? A nowhere man? I should have known better. We can work it out with a little help from my friends on that long and winding road. Here comes the sun. I'll follow the sun. Filled with the inner light, I imagine strawberry fields forever. I've got a feeling I want to hold your hand. As I journey across the universe, I call your name. Don't let me down. All you need is love. Just say the word, and I will let it be. And so it is. Let us just stay as we let it be. And though the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. the reason I invited you to sing that with me is to bring some of your quiet up now. Because we're going to sing a song called Please, Please Me. And it is completely energetically different from what we've just come from. And I wanted to transition us in a way that wasn't too much of a shock to our system. So now, please join me with something completely different. I sound like Monty Python. Now for something completely different. Let's sing, Please, Please Me. So, today we're going to talk about relationships. Woohoo! And one of the things actually that's a highlight for me is today is the 12th anniversary of meeting my beautiful and beloved husband, Paul. And we met at church camp. Can you believe it? Oh dear. Okay, so songs. The wisdom of the Beatles can be found in so many songs, and especially about relationships. Now, everything I speak about today is not just for romantic relationships. So just be aware that, of course, they're singing love songs and so on, but it doesn't need to be with a romantic relationship as much as about how we approach all of our relations. And we're going to look very briefly at 5 songs and what their messages are. We've sung some of them and we will sing the rest today. And I think you'll get a kick out of it. I had so much fun creating this portion of our 4-week series. By the way, next week will be a festival of the previous 4 weeks. So we're going to throw it all together and have a sing-along pretty much the entire service next week. So just know that. Bart likes that. So we're going to look at Can't Buy Me Love. Then we're going to look at Please, Please Me, which we've just sung. Then we're going to look at the words to We Can Work It Out, When I'm 64, and Obla-Di, Blada. And what you'll find is that each of them have a slightly different message. And even though I'm walking you along a long and winding road here, you'll notice that there is some evolution in the understanding of love. in the words of these songs. So we begin with Can't Buy Me Love. What I think of is the ardent giver. I recognize that we are all of these characters in these songs, sometimes all at once, sometimes in some parts of our lives and not in others, and sometimes just at different parts of our relationship or different aspects of our relationship. But here we have, Can't Buy Me Love, what I consider the ardent giver. Please let me buy your love. I want you to be happy. I'm willing to give you anything if it makes you happy. It's okay that I go without. Doesn't mean that much to me, as long as you're happy. Haven't we all been there? Haven't we all overgiven in our relationships? Sometimes with rose-colored glasses on. But we do it because we're in that space of loving and wanting to give, and that is a normal experience and expression of love, is to want to give. So the words are, I'll buy you a diamond ring if it makes you feel all right. I'll give you anything if it makes you feel all right. I'll give you all I've got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I've got, I'll give to you. I don't care too much for money because money can't buy me love. But there's a little bit of confusion there, isn't there? Because maybe it doesn't, and maybe he's hoping that it will. And then that wonderful line, can't buy me love, everybody tells me so. So there's a confusion again. No, no, no. Now most songs don't have no, no, no. They're, you know, the choruses are always, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always yeah, yeah, yeah. But in this song, it's no, 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 which I find interesting. So we have these rose-colored glasses. We give, we give, we give. But sometimes the rose-colored glasses prevent us from seeing the red flags. And so this person in the song then says, say you don't need it. Tell me that you don't actually need this, that I'm giving this to you, but it's a free gift. That it's not a contract, that it's not an if. This idea of wishing for a mutual viewpoint, of having some sort of sense of reciprocity. We realize that maybe can't buy me love is truly the truth. And this person is just starting to realize it. So the ardent giver, that's part of our relationship picture. Then there's this next part of our relationship picture. Please, please me. The judging scorekeeper. I'd love to say that I've never heard this before. I'd love to say I've never said it before, but that is not true. I know you never even try. Please, please me like I please you. You don't need me to show you how. You should know. If you loved me, you would know. Have we heard that before? You don't need me to show the way. Why do I always have to say, come on, please, please me like I please you. Then, as if that's not bad enough or human enough, let's call it human enough. He moves on. I don't want to sound complaining, but you know, I'm complaining. I don't want to sound complaining, but you know, there's always rain in my heart. I do all the pleasing with you. It's so hard to reason with you. Why do you make me blue? You could do a whole world's worth of work on this slide. This whole idea of giving our power away and allowing somebody else to make us blue is a limit that we really want to guard ourselves in. We never want to give our power away so much that someone else can affect our happiness. Easily said, not so easily done. But this whole idea of it's almost like a passive-aggressive thing. You know, I don't really want to start complaining, but you know, there's nothing there that's honest. And it's all about what's wrong with what you're doing, because I'm pretty perfect. And so you should be doing everything the way I do it, because I please you. And I shouldn't have to tell you that you should please me. And you're making me miserable. This is love. I once, a friend of mine, we were both single at the time, and he said, you know, Rhoda, I don't understand why we want to get into relationships so much. Because when we're single, we long for relationship. When we're in relationship, we long for that person to change. It's miserable. Why do we do this to ourselves? Good question. Good question. I'll leave that question with you. Just note yourself, though, when you're in that place where you're the whiner, the taker, the scorekeeper, the judge, the accountant, who's winning, who's losing, who's done more, who hasn't done more. It's not really love when we're doing that. It's a contract. It's saying, if this, then that. And our goal is to take away all of that and go, I love you. The rest doesn't matter. So now we move to the song we're going to sing right after this talk. We Can Work It Out, which sounds so optimistic, doesn't it? Until you start to look at the words. And I have to credit my brother Ron with the wisdom of showing me these words. He's like, try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? Try to see it your way. Nah. We run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. Oh, but we can work it out. Look at it my way. I'm just going to keep talking until I wear you down. If I have to listen to you, there's a chance that we're not going to make it. There's an implied threat there, isn't there? It's really clever. It goes on as if that's not enough. The biased negotiator. Think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong and still you think it's all right. Think of what I'm saying. Well, yeah, we can work it out and get it straight, or say, get the bias? Yes. We can work it out as long as it's my way. tell me that that isn't true for all of us at one point or another in all of our relationships. Yes, I'm willing to speak to you, and I'm willing to hear what you have to say, but I am not going to budge from my position. And I'm not going to love you anymore, and you're not going to belong with me anymore. And that's the part that's so scary. And then there is one sentence of truth. Life is very short, and there is no time for fussing and fighting. And then he goes and blows it again. I've always thought it's a crime, so I'll ask you once again. It's in the, come on now. One more time, yeah, let's listen to the refrain. So we've moved from this idea of overly giving to overly expecting to being a biased negotiator, not true, not honest, not truly seeing the other person as worthy of their own point of view. And now we start to see the idea of a shared vision in the song When I'm 64. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? I could be handy, mending a fuse when your lights have gone. You can knit a sweater by the fireside. Sunday mornings we could go for a ride. We could dig the garden, we could dig the weeds. Who could ask for more? So he's painting a picture. This is what our life could look like. It could start now and go all the way to when you're older too. And we could scrimp and save, and our grandchildren could be on our knee. We've even named them Vera, Chuck, and Dave in the song. He's painting this lovely picture. And he's not imposing it. Because the next part of the song is this. Send me a postcard. Drop me a line sharing points of view. Indicate precisely what you want to say. Yours sincerely. Wasting away. Give me your answer. Fill in a form. Mine forevermore. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? You see the invitation to have a shared reality and a shared vision. We've moved from, I'm going to give you everything and hope to buy your love, to I'm going to take everything from you because I'm going to keep track, to I'm going to pretend to negotiate with you, but you got to see it my way, to finally we're getting to, here's my picture. You're in it. Are you willing? When I'm 64. And then we get to Obladi, Oblada, which we will be singing today. I know, it's such a fun song. Here we discover that we can be both independent and connected. In this song, we have two people who are individuals. We have Desmond, who is a person who has a barrow in a marketplace. He's somebody who sells. And we have Molly, who's a singer in a band, and they get together. And it doesn't matter that they each have different things. They come together with this story of love. Life goes on. They have children. And he continues with his barrow in the marketplace, and she continues to sing in the band. And as the children get older, obviously they're now able to help, and you'll see that in one of the verses, Desmond lets the children lend a hand. And in the next verse, Molly lets the children lend a hand. There's a working together. And then another part that people don't often click into, or maybe they do, is Molly does her pretty face in one verse. And in the next verse, Desmond does his pretty face. And it doesn't matter. It's love. Shakespeare said in his 116th sonnet, "Love is not love that alters when it alteration finds." Love is not love that alters when alteration is found. When there is change, love does not change. If it changes, it's not love. And so, to me, this song is the epitome of dancing together in this place where we are independent, where I might put on makeup even though I'm not really traditionally expected to. And I'm not really expected to be the one who helps the children lend a hand. This idea of working together and staying connected and being independent and all of it working and flowing. And it ends with this brilliant line. If you want some fun, sing "Oh-la-dee-la-da." Just have fun. And so, in summary, yes, we can work it out. But we don't do it with overgiving, as we see in Can't Buy Me Love. We don't see it in overtaking, as we hear in Please Please Me. We don't see it in we can work it out, but only if you do it my way. We start to see it when we start sharing a vision and asking for clarity and allowing a person to say yes or no, as is invited in the song When I'm 64. And most importantly, the idea of being able to be connected and independent, as we see in the song "Oh-la-dee-la-da." If you want some fun in life, sing "Oh-la-dee-la-da." Bless you.